just talking about the natural hair warriors. Don't let one of them see you with straight hair. They gonna think you anti-black, anti-fro. You hate your blackness.
Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing, and if you're coming back to watch my videos, I appreciate. Thank you so much for your love and support. So this video is about the views of people concerning black women wearing their natural hair.
Don't bring your natural hair to my event. I have natural hair. I'm wearing a wig.
Hearing such statements from a black woman got me concerned about black women wearing their natural hair. I thought it was an issue with other people who are non-black. I really didn't know that also black people have an issue with their fellow black women wearing their natural hair. So that's where the concern is right here. I will let you listen to different opinions that people have, but also watch this video to the end. If you're struggling with your natural hair, I'm sure that you'll leave this video with all the strategies you need to maintain your natural hair. And it's so surprising that some people also say that you can't go out with your natural hair. So if you want to go to an event or just go somewhere important, you have to like wear a wig. Why should you be hiding our natural hair? That's the question. So why is it a problem to wear natural hair? And what's the issue with that? Is it ugly? Is it not presentable? Or I just want to know. So before then, let's hear different opinions from people.
Hair warriors. Don't let one of them see you with straight hair. They gonna think you anti-black, anti-fro. You hate your blackness. Don't nobody got 5 hours every weekend to wash.
I actually follow this girl, so I'm really not offended for real. But look, when it comes to the natural hair warrior, let me say this. I'm a natural hair warrior because I prefer that black women learn to love our hair, learn to love our texture specifically, because no one's going to love our hair if we don't even love our hair. So I think that's the main thing. But also I understand the perspective of like, we want to perm our hair, we want our silk press, you know, and I get that, but it does come from assimilation. It does come from a place of us being forced to do so for so long, and now we feel like that's just what looks right. Because the argument that it takes 5 hours to do your hair is invalid. I have locks, so best believe it don't take nothing but me waking up, period, point blank. Also, this whole idea that, you know what I'm saying, your hair has to have the perfect coil to it, you know what I'm saying, you got to be up all night doing it, like, yeah, I don't think so. Maybe on wash days, you know what I'm saying, but I feel like we use these excuses because we just simply, if you just want to perm your hair, you just want to straighten it, okay, cool, like, that's fine. But there's nothing wrong with black women who prefer natural hair, because I think another issue that people miss is that it's really not what kind of hair you're wearing, it's the fact that your hair will be breaking off, burnt and crispy to your ear, to the top of your ear, and you gonna wear it like that as opposed to just going natural, because you would prefer that over natural, or you prefer to wear a bad wig over natural, or you prefer literally anything else possible in the whole world except for your natural hair because you hate it that much. That's the difference between, oh, I just like wearing my hair different ways, or I just like my hair straight, and I would prefer this even in its worst state. Even if my hair is burnt, fried, and laid to the side, I prefer that over my natural hair. That's when you begin to have the issue. Remember as well that there were laws put in place for black women to literally cover their hair because they wanted us to hate our hair so badly, because they envied our hair so bad. We had to cover it.
For a black woman to wear her natural hair, however that manifests itself,
yes,
to me is a declaration of power and of pride and of love and of identity. I'm just a huge fan of it. I really am. I'm a huge fan of it. I understand why we do the wigs and I understand it. But I understand it, but I would never demand it.
Yeah.
I would never demand it. Many women that I see with naturals, I go out of my way to tell them how beautiful their hair looks.
I don't want to be the one to say this, but black people are the worst when it comes to unsolicited advice. Let's talk about it. I'm a 27-year-old learning how to do my first natural hair for the first time, and I've gotten so much advice that I did not ask for. Typically, the like general uproar from like people on the internet, people, hairstylists, like whatever, about me choosing to wear my hair straight is a little bit crazy because it's not your hair. So why are you so mad? I just don't understand. Like, the reality is society views black people as a monolith, but also black people view black people as a monolith and have such a hard time understanding there's so many different types of black people. Like, you can wear your hair curly and be black, and I can choose to wear my hair straight and also be black, and we both are still black people living our black individual lives. This specific thing that makes it so hard to exist in this world as a black person, because there's just so much expectation. There's expectation from black people, there's expectation from white people. Like, everyone has expectations about who you are, what you're supposed to do with your hair, how you're supposed to act, how you're supposed to talk, all the different things about yourself. But like, meanwhile, I'm just existing. I was living my life, and how am I supposed to move through this life and have so many people having so many expectations about me, but you don't even know me? It's kind of crazy.
Don't bring your natural hair to my event. I have natural hair. I am wearing a wig.
Why is it always the women with the worst wigs and weaves that want to bring up the hair topic? You can't listen to a woman who draws her edges on her forehead, a woman with no edges, and a woman with mysterious ones, because we don't even know what's going on underneath that headband. As a woman who has been natural all her life, has had different natural hairstyles, and has looked good in each and every one of them, natural hair queens, continue to do you and wear your hair wherever you want to wear it. They must be living under a rock, because natural hair and just hairstyles in general have evolved.
Is everyone okay? Is everybody feeling alright? Because what is going on Twitter? I don't think that people realise that their words actually have meaning. It scares me sometimes, because I think that the same people that speak so negatively about their hair and who speak with disgust about their own natural hair, saying things like, how can you wear it outside of the house? Mind you, this is the hair that you were born with, the hair that grows naturally out of your scalp. You're saying, how can you wear this hair out of the house? Do we hear ourselves when we speak? Do we think about the impact that the words that we say will potentially have on someone else who's reading this? This, for example, is coming from a verified account. I'm assuming you're someone with some form of influence. A young girl who sees your tweets or who sees your content, who potentially looks up to you, is going to see how you're talking about your hair and think, wow, my hair is not good enough, my hair's ugly. Again, what also worries me is the same people who think so negatively about their hair and who think that their hair is something to be ashamed of, something to hide away, are the same people who will have kids. And what, are you going to pass on your anti-blackness down to your kids? Are you going to make them feel so ashamed about how they look and make them feel like they look less than because of the way that you view your own hair? If you think negatively about your hair, you're free to feel that way, but you're even now inciting other people to think that there's something wrong with the way that their hair looks, the hair that grows naturally out of your scalp. I'm a Christian, so I believe that I was made in the image of God. I was made perfectly. The way that came into this world is beautiful, and I think it's so important to have pages like this and so many other natural hair pages which encourage young women or encourage people to embrace their hair the way that it grows out of their scalp. And I really wish that we would stop thinking so negatively about ourselves, because we already have so many other issues in this world, and we're trying to encourage people to wear their hair out in its natural state. Then I have to lead by example, and I guess that's why I've just made it a point of mine to wear my hair out in its natural state more often, because I can only encourage people to embrace the hair if they see me doing the same thing. And I just want to say to anyone who's watching this video that there is nothing wrong with your hair. Your hair is beautiful. Your hair doesn't have to look like someone else's. You were made perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with the way that you look. There is nothing wrong with how your hair looks. Some people say that their natural hair isn't for them, but to me that doesn't really make sense, because how can something not be for you? It's like saying my arm isn't for me, my nose isn't for me, my eyelashes aren't for me, but that's the way I was born. If you have an issue with your own hair, then please keep that at home. Why are you bringing that online and inciting other black women or other women to hate their hair and hate the hair that grows out of their scalp naturally? Also, what's funny to me is that people will say that your natural hair is not the hair that you're supposed to step out with or wear to events. Okay, so what do we wear? You want us to be stepping out in hair that isn't our own. Do you guys hear yourselves? In wigs, in extensions, in synthetic hair. If God wanted us to have all of that and to step out like that every day, would we not come into this world with a wig on our head? Would we not come into this world with synthetic hair, with braids in our hair? Like, not to say that you can't, I wear wigs as well, but you would never catch me speaking so negatively about my hair. It doesn't make any sense to me how you can be so pro hair that isn't yours and so against hair that is yours, the hair that you were born with.
Okay, so this video is specifically directed at girls who are really struggling with their natural hair, like they hate their natural hair and, you know, they wear wigs because of that. And disclaimer, I understand that not all black girls wear wigs because they hate their natural hair. A lot of us just love the style. Okay, let's get into it. It's taken me a really long time to truly love and appreciate my natural hair, because for a long time I was always told that my natural hair was not good enough. But what it takes is for you to pull back from the society's standards of beauty and truly look at yourself and understand that this is how God made you. You can look very, very beautiful with your natural hair. It's just about experimenting and learning how to wear it. So if you find yourself reliant on the weaves, the wigs, the sew-ins, just take some time to wear your hair out natural and appreciate it, because it is so flipping beautiful.
Here's 7 things I wish I knew before growing out my hair. Number 1, I wish I knew that blow drying my hair too much can give me the same amount of damage as straightening it. Number 2, I wish I knew that wearing my hair out too often can cause me to lose inches due to breakage. Number 3, I wish I knew that moisturizing my hair while it's in its protective style at least once a week can keep my hair from snapping off when I take out that protective style. Number 4, I wish I chose hair products based on my hair's porosity and not my hair type, because the products I was using was just sitting on top of my hair doing nothing. Number 4, I wish I knew that gelling my hair down every day in slick backs was causing insane tension breakage to the crown of my head that I'm still recovering from today. Number 6, I wish I prioritized weekly and bi-weekly hair treatments to keep from getting split ends. And lastly, number 7, I wish that I controlled my scissor happiness when it came to trim day. All these mistakes that I made have cost me probably about 10 inches of hair throughout my 8-year hair journey. If you cannot do what I did and avoid these mistakes earlier, your hair will also be a lot longer than it is.
Those braids are not a protective style. If you have natural hair and you just got a fresh install of box braids, knotless braids, or maybe like braided cornrows, thinking that it's a protective style that's gonna protect your ends and help you get stronger and longer hair, it won't. It's not the style that protects your hair, it is the way you care for your hair while you have those styles in that actually makes a difference. Let me explain. There are 4 really common ways people manage their hair while they have protective styles like braids in, which actually harm the hair far more than if they just didn't do those styles at all. Number 1, they let the braider braid their hair too tight. This is so common, it is almost a cliche, but when you have super tight braids, you A, irritate your scalp such that the follicles become too damaged to actually grow, and B, you can end up with bald patches around your edges, which will make it harder for you to embrace and celebrate your natural hair after you take the braids out, because you then have to figure out how to style those bald patches. But if you consistently do protective styles that thin your edges, you can end up with what's called traction alopecia, which is what happens when you have tension around the hairline or other parts of your head over time. It doesn't happen overnight, it happens over time. Number 2, not washing and conditioning your hair enough. Sometimes people think that braids are a set it and forget it type of thing, or they pick braided styles they intend to wear for more than 2 weeks that don't look good after they've been washed. I'm talking your really intricate tiny braids which are absolutely gorgeous, but like after you wash them they become fairy and you can't see the design anymore. Look, no matter how good your deep conditioner is, it can only seal moisture in your strands for a limited period of time. That period of time is usually about 7 to 10 days, maybe longer if your hair is lower porosity. However, once that moisture has evaporated, your hair is drier and more at risk of breakage, whether it's in those braids or not, and that risk becomes even more elevated during the braid removal process. Which all goes to say, not washing and conditioning your hair regularly while you have braids in is counterproductive, even if your hair is not being manipulated a lot because of the braids being in. Number 3, you're leaving your braids in too long, which means that they're going to tangle a whole lot more, which leaves you open to much more breakage during that removal and tangling process. Plus, you can get breakage close to your roots if the braids are hanging off and twisting around itself. And then finally, you're removing your braids incorrectly.
That's was it about this video, guys. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell as you subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up for a recommendation. Goodbye for now. I appreciate it.